Hi everybody, it's Diane. What is on my desk today? Lots of stuff is on my desk today. I've been doing a little of this and a little of that. One of the things I've been working on is some face masks for a nurse friend of mine who, she's a home health nurse and she has to change her mask every time she visits home, and she doesn't have very many masks, so she put out a request, and my daughter gave me some Christmas fabrics that she had in her car that she was going to donate to the Salvation Army. So she gave them to me, and so that's what I've been doing. I only have like 7 made, so I'll have to make some more, but it's a bit tedious, so I do a few and then do some more of my work, and then tomorrow I'll make some more of these. So this is what I've been working on. There should have been a video up maybe yesterday on these fabric covers that I've been working on. So I have 3 made that I'm going to turn into journals. This one is pretty big. And I started cutting pages for this one. Let me just show you the finished covers. I believe this one was done when I showed it. Each piece started with an embroidered piece as the inspiration and to give me the size. And there's a video showing how I put these together. So that's this one, and I sewed this strap around it. Sewed it to it so you can wrap it around it to tie it closed, and then there's the inside. So that's going to be a big one. And then this one, this is the one I cut pages for, so this will be the first one I work on. This one has blue predominantly. And there's the inside. The first one I sewed the strip to where it would be on the back of the journal, and then you would wrap it around. This one I sewed to the flap. So it would be like this, and you would wrap it around and tuck it in somewhere. And then the littlest one is this one. Now this strap, I pieced several pieces together. Mostly from sheets or pillowcases. These are really fun to put together. So like I said, I cut pages for this. Let me show you the pages. I decided to use my Stampin' Up! Papers that look like they're embroidered, since these pieces have a lot of embroidery, these covers. So these are double-sided Stampin' Up! Papers. And there's 6 different designs, 2 of each design. So I'm using 6 of them in one book and 6 of them in another book. They all look like they have embroidered designs on them. And then I decided I went through digital papers that I have printed, and I have these from oh dear, I'll remember it. But they're so pretty. They look like collage papers. So I got 6 of those. So there will be 2 in each signature. Got the name of it right here. I don't know the name of the kit, but it's Antique Papery. I kept thinking Stamperia, because they're kind of the same style with the collage and antique vintage look, but it's antique papery. I will leave a link below. And then these are some papers. They're printables, but they're printables of some coffee and avocado dyed papers with crochet doily effect on them. And these came from Tailor Made Journals on Etsy. These are book pages from a very large book about like the history of jewelry or something like that, and I thought they were really pretty. I needed some large pages for these large books. And I have bits of these printables from, most of these I think are from Roxy Creations, from Rachel. And I've had these printed and cut for quite a while. But I also have these. These are mine. I own these pieces, and they are just scanned or copied on my printer. So this one, actually, I had this printed a long time ago, and that's what I used here. So I don't know if that'll go in this book or in one of the other books. And this one I just scanned. Well, I didn't scan it into my computer, but I just made a copy of it, laid it on my scanner and made a copy of it. So I have all those things to use, and then I have these little things from Mrs. Coggs, which I think are images from a book about, an old book about needlework. So I have all that to use. So what I thought I would do today in this video is do some stamping on muslin. I had wanted to make some fabric clusters, but I've had enough of sewing. I've been making those masks. I've made those covers, plus I have two more that I haven't sewn them together yet, but I've got them all laid out that I'm hoping that I can just sell as covers in case you want to buy a cover and make your own journal. And I just need to get away from the sewing machine for a bit. So I'm going to stamp on some scraps of muslin that I have, and these can be sewn onto the pages or included in clusters. I was thinking that, I won't do it today because it will be pretty time consuming, but I was thinking I would take these little letter stamps and stamp out the words that would be the fruit of the Spirit from Galatians 5:22. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, which I would write patience. So there's 9 fruit of the Spirit words, and I thought I would just stamp them all and have them ready to be used in a fabric cluster, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I did get out some stamps, and I'm going to get out my StazOn, and I'm just going to stamp on some pieces of muslin. Some of it's coffee dyed, and then I will use the pieces. Some of them will be used in these journals, and some I'll just have for later. And I will just have them available to use as I wish. So that's all I'm going to do is stamp on muslin, but you can watch, and I don't know what I have to talk about, but I mean, there isn't really much to talk about when you just stay in your house all day, is there? I took some things to my parents yesterday. They have a tiny, tiny freezer. All they have is the refrigerator freezer, the one above the refrigerator, and it's really small. And my mom has to eat gluten-free. I'm going to leave that on there in case I want to put something on the top. I can always cut these down to size as I know what I want to do with them. Anyway, there's some gluten-free ciabatta rolls that she loves at Walmart, but they're not always there when she goes. So when I was there recently, they had 2 packs. So I bought both of them and I have them in my freezer. And I called her to see how she was set with her ciabatta rolls and other stuff. And she only had one roll left. So I took some ciabatta rolls to her, and I also gave them some Halo mandarin oranges, because I buy a bag and I can't eat them all, so I share them with other people. So I took them some of those and some cheese, because she wanted to make macaroni and cheese, and I had extra of that. So I just took some supplies, a few things. And you know, when we were talking on the phone, she said I could just leave them on the porch. She's being very cautious, which she should be, but I won't go into everything. But they have a little porch there's a railing, and she said I can come out and stand on the porch and talk to you through the railing. I mean, it's not like a jail cell. I would be talking over the top of the railing, but she was kind of making it clear that she wanted me to stay on the other side of the railing, which I understood. They're in their 80s. So when I got there, the dog, I called her and told her I was on my way. And the dog saw me standing out there. I had put the things on the porch, just reached through the railing and put them there. And I was waiting for her to come out. And the dog saw me and was growling at me. She knows me, but maybe she couldn't tell who I was through the door. So she's barking and growling. So my mom came, and once she opened the door, then Mandy knew who I was and was all friendly and everything. But then my mom said, "You can come in if we don't get too close." So I went in, and we sat on opposite sides of the room. My dad was there. Had a little visit. I've been wanting to stamp a collection of things on muslin just to have. So that's why I'm just doing a whole bunch, because I know I won't use all of them. I hardly ever use this cute little stamp, so I'm just going to stamp a bunch of her. I'll have a lot of stamps to clean up though when I'm done. So I had agreed, well, I decided that I would make those masks. I should probably zoom in a little bit, as long as I stay in the right spot. And then my daughter had that fabric, so she gave it to me. And I started to make them with making the ties out of the fabric strips. Well, I soon realized, like halfway through the first one, how tedious that was going to be and very time consuming. So you have to make 4 ties for each mask. You have to, you know, cut the strips and then fold them in, and then fold them in half, and it would take a very long time. So that will, I have to go to Walmart and get some elastic. Of course, the elastic is all sold out because everybody's making masks. So I was able to get some bias tape, packaged bias tape, and I got, I think, 5 or 6 packages of it. And then when I got it home and started measuring it and cutting it into the pieces that I needed, I discovered that I could make 1 mask with each pack. of bias tape and have one strip left. So I got 2 green, 2 red, and 2 tan, I think is what I got. They didn't have a lot left because people were buying that as an alternative to elastic. So some of the masks will have multiple colors of ties on them. But at least I'm able to make some. And I'm just giving them to the nurse that I know that goes to my church. Sometimes you just need something tiny, so I love this little tiny rosebud stamp and this little lady's head that's so little. This is a larger piece, so let's see what I can stamp that's just a little bit bigger. Ooh, I could stamp that. I'm gonna stand up to do this big one, make sure I get a good impression. Well, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a good impression, but it's not a bad one. I'll use it. I want to use some of these. These are paper tray ink stamps. This says just a little something. I don't want those. This one says style vintage and quality count. I want that one. Vintage finds, vintage style. Handmade is best. That's cool for this, for these journals with the embroidery. You can make a button card with these. There's that one and this one, and it has different buttons, but I haven't done that. Let's start with these. This is a part of an old collar, and I like that it's finished, so maybe I should try some of this and use it in a cluster. I can cut little strips of it. Gotta clean that. Oh, I am right out of your view, aren't I? I am so sorry. I can just cut those into little pieces. This is probably from a pillowcase or something like that. This one says handmade is best. Oop, that one didn't come out very well. Oh, that one did. Maybe I could even do a little slow stitching on this around there. Now let's do this vintage style one. I think this is my favorite one in this whole set, and it's so tiny and I'm terrified of losing it. I take very good care of it. This is part of the selvage of a fabric. Well, that last one is a bit smudged, but look how nice they look. So I won't use that last one. I gotta use that one a few more times. This is something that had a piece of bias tape sewn in it, and then it's got some hand stitching down the center. So that's pretty neat looking. I think this is the outside of it. I'm going to use this. Oh, I'm not done with that one. I like that one so much, I'm going to do this strip full of it. Needs to be ironed. Let's find one that's not so wrinkly. There, now I've got a whole bunch of vintage style. Now this is a stamp set that goes with that Stampin' Up! Paper. These are the designs that are embroidered. And I have die cut, I think. I have dies. There's something that's supposed to go in the middle there. I think maybe it cuts out a shape that you can stamp one of those words in and put it there. I don't remember. But I can stamp some of these. These are embroidery designs. That looks nice. I think I will try stamping this, and I can use it in clusters and put lace or buttons or something in that space. Or a little doily. I think that would be fun to play with. There, that one looks better. Let's do a few of those so we can really play with them. So I think maybe my craft time tomorrow will be working on some of these clusters and stuff. I might use some of those little stitches, those lines of stitching right on the pages. Maybe. Guess that's all I'm going to do from that set right now. I have a dress form in this, and this is the top of a spool of thread. And that. It's missing some stuff. It's missing this and this, but they might be in this little box of tiny pieces, and some of them were just pieces that I didn't know where they went. Nope. The rest are clear. They might have got put in the wrong box when they got put away. Or they just might be missing. This is bigger than I thought it was. That's okay. Got a nice strip here. I'm going to use the dress form. Gotta clean these blocks. I can't even see the image. Ooh, that looks nice. Thought I would do some of these things. Don't know if I want to do her if she's too big. But I do want to just have some pieces to sew onto the page. They don't have to be clusters. Or sew them onto a pocket or something like that. Ooh, that looks nice. This is fun. I love it when I get to get my stamps out and play with them. This is why I have a large stamp collection. And it's using up some of these scraps of muslin. I don't have my normal mat on my table here. It's out on the dining room table because I was actually using it as a cutting mat. I actually got out my, the quilting rulers and my rotary cutter so I could cut the pieces for the masks. Alright, we have lots of those now. Oh, how pretty. I want to do some of these little corners. Sorry for the noise. Clatter. That looks cute. Got my ironing board and iron all set up because of the masks I've been doing, but they're out in the other room. Okay, what else? How about these ladies? Yeah, I'll do one more. And then on this one there's a dress form. Looks like a patent or something. A patent drawing of a dress form. Aren't these going to be fun to play with? There's even a little sewing machine there. Alright, some doilies. We've got these little images. There was something in here that I liked for this journal. Oh, maybe the birds. Maybe I'll do a couple doilies before I end for the day. I don't know how interesting this has been for you, but I'm just having fun. And look how I haven't emptied it, but I've lowered the amount of scraps in that little bucket. Missed the bottom, but that could be part of a collage. That's better. These stamps are Inka-Dinka-Doo. Decorative doilies. I love this one. I got them at Michael's. I think I can do a little bit better than that, but it's pretty. Yes, that's better. Let's do one more of those. Oop, I jiggled that one. Let's see how that turned out. It's just a little bit fuzzy at the bottom. Not too bad. Let's try this tiny little one. Oh, so pretty. That's enough doilies, I guess. I have some ladies I want to try. I don't know how they'll look on the fabric, but they're small and kind of detailed. If I can get them out. These are by Ultimate Crafts. The Ritz. the Ritz collection, and this set is called Forever Classy. And I bought these at Joann's online, joanns.com. When I was making bohemian journals. I don't think I used these ladies in the bohemian journals, but I bought some stamps by that company for the boho journals, and then I saw those, so I got those too. Yeah, she stamped nicely. So I think I'll do a few of each of those ladies. Very nice. This one looks like she's from the 20s, maybe 1910s. Yeah, I would say more 1910s. Oh, I already did 3 of her. Oh well. We'll get 4 of this one. Let's see what this one looks like. I like her. And there's one more. I'm not sure how that one will turn out because she's in a block. And the block will be pretty black around her, I think, but we'll try her. Well, she turned out quite nice. I didn't even know there was a gentleman there kissing her hand. I'll just do 2 of that one. Might as well finish filling up this piece of muslin. And I just have some like frame type of things and floral elements. Let's do these. This is an old stamp from Personal Stamp Exchange, back when they used to have them at Michael's. The first stamps I bought were Personal Stamp Exchange stamps at Michael's. And then I collected a few of them, and then I got invited to a Stampin' Up! Party, and that was all she wrote. And when I really got into collecting stamps. I've used this stamp on muslin lots of times. Makes a fun element. Can you see it? And I've used this one a lot too. I guess not. Could do this one, and maybe before I use it I could stamp a little word inside that frame. Pretty close. Well, let's go back to the vintage style to put the words in there. Vintage finds. Oh, that's cool. I'll show it to you. Well, I've been stamping for a long time, and I had fun. So if you stuck with me this long, thank you. Give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say about every video that I make. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back again probably tomorrow. Bye.